perfect example of how special interests and the powerful have pitted white working class Americans against brown and black working class Americans in order to just screw over all working class Americans is Reaganism in the 80s when he started talking about welfare queens. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez telling attendees at a festival in Austin, Texas, how she really feels about former President Ronald Reagan and FDR, by the way. Our next guest worked closely with Reagan and is the author of The President Will See You Now. Here to weigh in is Peggy Grande, former executive assistant to President Reagan. Peggy, how do you feel about the president's policies? Were racist when he talked about welfare queens?
Well, that's just ridiculous. And if we look at what happened to Black America and to the working middle class under our first African-American President Barack Obama, we see that what she's talking about is just a crazy byproduct of the indoctrination of political leanings in the educational system. It's no longer based on learning. She is a byproduct of what's happened in the school system lately. And so, you know, it's crazy to think that these ideas are not only being touted by her, but being followed by so many others. You know, they say when you're young, if you're not a liberal, you don't have a heart. If you're not a conservative when you're older, right, you don't have a brain. So we may be able to give her a pass, but there's so many people who are following her.
I know. If she was 39, she'd be running for president and probably winning. Meanwhile,
she absolutely would be.
Right. And meanwhile, when it comes to moderates, don't even bring that up to her. That's even worse. Listen.
Moderate is not a stance, it's just an attitude toward life of like, we've become so cynical that we view meh or we view cynicism as an intellectually superior attitude. And we view ambition as youthful naivete.
I'm confused, but I'll try to grab onto something there.
Wow.
Moderates are what?
Well, Ronald Reagan famously said it so well when he said, you know, liberals are not ignorant. They just know so many things that aren't so. And we see that playing out famously on the left right now. They're in love with this idea of socialism. It's this virtual reality. It's this illusion, and it's not based in any substance or fact. Mm-hmm. In fact, we see overwhelming evidence on the contrary, especially playing out right now in Venezuela. And the true danger in what they're talking about is not the danger of what they're telling us. It's the danger of what they're not telling us. And if we take the bait of freebies and government control, the hook is there underneath. And if we bite, then we're going to be all in danger. Freedom's never more than one generation left from extinction.
Very well put. I appreciate it. And it's time for moderates to speak up to their description. Coming up straight ahead. Thanks, Peggy.